Hi Pisces, my name's Jason. This is your Flash Tarot reading, your general reading for September 2018. I hope things are fine where you are. It's pretty cool here in Western Australia. 5 card spread here today. This card here, the Hanged Man, is your position where you are at the moment. This card here, the second card, is your challenge for the month of September. This card here, your fears for September. This card here, 4 of Wands, that's the best attitude to take for September. And this card here, for the energies play out, you have Queen of Pentacles as the result of your efforts for the month. And let's have a look here at the Hanged Man. It looks as though you are literally hanging around waiting here, just like the Hanged Man here. You don't look like you're having too much of a hard time here. You look at the Hanged Man, he's quite comfortable sitting, contemplating, waiting for a decision perhaps, waiting for an idea to come, or he's got a great idea, waiting for some decision to be made about it. Okay, so perhaps you've got this energy of you've got a great idea, you're waiting for a go-ahead to go ahead with it, but you're not too worried about it. It looks like you're just hanging upside down there. You've got this bright idea as represented by the sun behind his head. He's not too stressed out about it. So that's a good place to start. Okay. Now, your task for this month here is the 6 of Cups. Now, this is a beautiful card of nostalgia usually. Okay, so it's looking back at fond memories, appreciating what you've got, and using your experience, your emotional intelligence in this case, I'm thinking, to get what you need done. Okay, so it might be a creative task that you're working on. You might have to convince some people. If you're going to convince or persuade these people about your task or your idea, then use a more emotional, or put some emotion into your persuasive presentation, or approach it from an emotional angle, and that's probably a good way to go here. That's what it's looking at here, okay? Don't get stuck in the past, okay? So if someone tries to bring up the past, maybe a project that hasn't worked before, or, we've tried this before and it didn't work. Well, times are different. Times change all the time. Different people in charge, different conditions are around, different energies around. So try not to be dissuaded by people who look back to the past and say, oh, well, it didn't work then, so why would it work now? Okay, so a positive approach, using your experience, and don't accept that, oh, it never worked last time, so why should it work this time? Okay, there are plenty of resources out there which can make things succeed, plenty of people with the right skills to make things succeed out there. If there's a bit of investment, I'm thinking there might be a bit of investment involved here. Might not be a large investment, but someone has to be accountable for this project here. So that's why you might come across a bit of resistance. But again, just keep positive and appeal to the emotional side of people, and whoever's in charge of making the decision here. And that's looking pretty positive there, okay? So your fears. The fears here. Now, this is the 10 of Cups. This is generally a beautiful card, okay? And it's a card of success. Look at those people there in the under the arch there, celebrating, happy kids there. It's fantastic. Your fears might be that you're putting too much investment into something. So if you invest in this project you've got, you might be a little bit worried that it won't pay off. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, it's quite a large investment, or it might take a lot of my time, or a lot of my effort, or it might take a lot of resources out of my family time, perhaps, or it might threaten my financial security somehow. Okay, so that's a fear that you might have with this. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You fear that you might lose some really special stuff that you've got. Okay. Um, that said, the best attitude to take for this month, the Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands is a card of celebration. It's an optimistic card. It's a card which encourages and rewards risk taking. Those wands represent fire, and nothing really happens in the universe without fire. Fire makes everything happen. So use that to use that feeling of enthusiasm which might be around you. So there is enthusiasm there if for your project, if you just use it. And here's where the emotional side of things comes in. If you can fire people up emotionally, then they're going to feel a lot better about participating in something. It's generally an optimistic card, this Four of Wands. So that's how I'm thinking it all fits together there, okay? And then at the end of it, Queen of Pentacles. Oh, what a beautiful queen. She's got it all together. So the results of your energies and your efforts this month, Queen of Pentacles is the epitome of success, really. She's organized and she's got the money, she's got the emotional happiness and wealth, just across the board, a generally happy sort of a card, a successful card, and I wouldn't have to clarify that anymore. She's a very happy queen, okay? So let's just have a look around what we've got here. There's a decision that needs to be made that you'll be waiting on, okay? In the Hanged Man, it's about an idea you've got. Some people might be a little bit dissuaded, thinking that it hasn't worked before. Why should it happen this time? But you've got a special angle on it, why it didn't work last time. Try not to be dissuaded and appeal to the emotional side. Okay, that's probably got a good chance of success this month. Don't be too worried about risking this, even though I would never say, throw out the baby with the bathwater, but it's just a fear that you've got, okay? So it's something you would consider, okay? I wouldn't be making that decision for you. You'd have to make that decision. Is the risk, taking away too much of my family time, or will I have to sacrifice too much of my creativity to do this? Okay, so I'm feeling that too, that maybe any permissions you might get, you might lose creative freedom in doing it, which might sort of take away a bit of the shine off your idea. Okay, so that's a fear that you might consider as well. Okay, but the best approach here seems to be saying, let's just fire people up here, show them the positive, show them the results, okay? Try and get them fired up and perhaps show them some examples of where it's worked in other places, okay? So people will see the bright side, they'll be enthusiastic about this, and if you can persuade these people or this system or whatever it is this month, then the result should be a very strong and happy all-round win for everyone in the Queen of Pentacles. So that looks like a pretty straightforward and optimistic reading with a bit of a challenge there. Appeal to people's emotions and try not to sacrifice too much of your creativity, otherwise it might not be worth it. By the looks of it, it depends on what kind of value you're putting on this project, whether it's a personal project, maybe you're trying to start a club, or maybe you're trying to start organize some kind of infrastructure project. It might just be like a bike path or something, and they tried it, say 10 years ago, and it didn't work, or there's something like that, a club where you're trying to get a whole bunch of people together, and you might just be struggling to get enthusiasm there. But I think if you just try and get people fired up with an emotional sort of argument, the time is right there. I'm pretty sure that there will be some success. So all in all, a pretty hopeful reading there for you, Pisces. I hope it works out for you. It'd be great if you could let me know in your comments at the end of September how things are going. If this has resonated for you, I'd appreciate that. And hopefully I'll talk to you again in October.